What's going on, guys? Welcome to Stocks with Stammer. I'm your host, Zach, aka Stammer, and I'm here to recap on what happened last week, what my take is, and to give you the move for this week. Before we get started, if you haven't seen episode 1, go do that right now. And come back to this video, of course. And lastly, for my audience out there, if you have any questions or any specific questions regarding a specific stock, comment down below. I'm going to give it a look next week and we'll start from there. All right. If we look at how the markets performed last week, a bit of a bad week, but big picture, it's not too bad. But let's start with the Dow Jones. So it was down 0.52%. The S&P nearly down 1%. The Nasdaq down 1.87%. And the TSX was down 1.37%. And this comes as the massive spread of the Delta COVID-19 variant is really starting to worry investors, especially the spread of the variant among unvaccinated Americans. That those who are not vaccinated, those are the ones who are most at risk. And so it's starting to scare a bit investors. Some sectors that were on our radar in the past week, it was technology, gold, and consumer discretionary stocks. So when we look at technology, let's look at the FAANG. For those who remember, Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, Google, aka Alphabet, and we always throw Nvidia in the mix. All right, so Facebook was down 2.87% on the week. Apple was basically flat. Amazon down 4.56%. And remember, last week I had a great week. I believe it was up close to 6%, so a bit of a bummer there. Alphabet was up 0.63%. Netflix was down 1.88%. And Nvidia, again, the big loser, down 10.27%. So last week it was down around 5-6%, I believe. And it was a combination of the China crackdown and also technically, if you looked at the charts, it was very overbought. So it was running a little hot. And so that's why it moved a bit last week. Now this week, it moved again down to the downside. And I think it was because of the technical setup again. It was still a little overbought near the end of last week. And I think we'll get into this later, but Nvidia, it's looking pretty good for a good trading setup. Gold, I had told you guys that gold, I think, was a good trading opportunity. And it started the week a little rough. It dipped below $1,800 an ounce. And then it shot up all the way to $1,830 an ounce. So that was a $40 move in about 2 or 3 days. And then it finished the week around in the low 1800s. So it was basically flat for the week, but that move from Tuesday to early Thursday morning was quite impressive. Consumer discretionary stocks. Bit of a mixed picture, but one of my favorite stocks in the space, and it's a Canadian stock, is Alimentation Couche-Tard. Ticker ATD.B on the Toronto Stock Exchange. And it was up nearly 6% for the week after having they had their investor day in the middle of the week and shared quite a bullish outlook, and investors were quite impressed, and as a result they got a couple of price target upgrades from analysts in the space. So that was very nice to see. Economic events happening this week. Kind of busy, but maybe not as exciting as last week. However, on Tuesday, we have the CB Consumer Confidence report for the month of July. On Wednesday, we have the Core CPI monthly report for Canada. And also we have the Federal Reserve interest rate decision. I don't expect anything major coming out of those two, as last week we saw really hot inflation numbers. And I think we'll see a similar picture for those Canadian figures. On Thursday, we have the quarterly GDP report. So I guess this, I think, would be the most anticipated report to look out for this week. Companies reporting earnings Now we got a busy week. Monday we have IBM. Tuesday we have Netflix, United Airlines, Chipotle, and CN Rail. Wednesday we have Coca-Cola, Johnson & Johnson, and Verizon. Thursday we have AT&T, Intel, Capital One, and Snap Inc., the ones that the company that runs Snapchat. And Friday we have American Express. So I wonder if these earnings is going to be similar to what happened in May, where companies reported fantastic earnings, but the stock really suffered. And I think, we're entering the third week of July. We're seeing quite a bit of low volume, and I'm wondering if this is going to be a buy the rumor, sell the news kind of thing. Anyways, we'll see. What to look out for next week? Well, similar to what I said last week, it's all about Delta. Delta. It's growing quite rapidly in the US, despite vaccines, because again, there's a lot of people that are not vaccinated and, they're at risk. Also, last week I had also said that if we get a pullback in like high quality technology names, I think it'd be a good time to start a position or add to your existing position. And I think I'll have my eyes on Nvidia. It's a beast of a company, and it's trading around $720 a share, I believe. And if it drops below 700, I'm gonna be contemplating to get in that trade. It's gonna be very tempting. I'll also be keeping an eye out on crude oil. If it dips below $70 a barrel, US of course, I'll be looking at as a great trading opportunity. And I also like gold medium to long term. And so there's my 3 things to look out for this week. So the bottom line is very similar to what I said last week. Be cautious, remain invested, and keep an eye out for opportunities. Well, that's about it for this episode, folks. Like, comment, subscribe, share, do all that good stuff. And we'll see you next week on Stocks with Stammer. Have a great week.